And good morning, there you are, here we are once again in the morning on a Tuesday. It's just gone 11 o'clock on Tuesday. I'm never quite sure of the date. Every time I say the date, I have to quickly look over at my computer, and it's 24th of August, Tuesday the 24th of August, just gone 11 o'clock, if that's the time and date where you are now. Here in 2010, then you are with us live, and you have the opportunity, of course, of joining us live by Skype or telephone this morning. All right, my Skype-in number is all one word. Sorry, the Skype-in name is United Kingdom Radio. If you've got Skype, United Kingdom Radio, all one word. And the phone-in number at any point, if you want to join in of anything we're talking about, is 020 3287 1488. All right, I don't know why, but I'm buzzing away this morning, which is unusual because I haven't had any chocolate for a while. I've been on this weight loss thing. I've always had a thing about my weight since I was like I don't know, about 23 years old, to be honest. So I'm on this weight loss thing, and I'm very pleased. I'd like to open the show today with informing you that I am now 13 stone 0.06. Okay? 13 stone 0.06. Now, I think on the last show, we were 13 stone 2. So we're going in the right direction. I'm kind of hoping... Oh, let's not push the boat out too far. But I'm kind of hoping that by next Saturday, I will be below... Or this Saturday coming, I will be below the 13 stone mark. Fingers crossed, okay? I'm keeping it up, boys and girls. Not like that. I'm keeping it up. Fingers crossed for that one. And talking of this weekend, of course, another bank holiday is upon us. And indeed, the last one here in the UK until Boxing Day. It's all gone so quick, isn't it? It's the last bank holiday till Boxing Day, and I shall have a very, very busy Sunday myself. On Sunday night, I shall be DJing between the hours of 10 and 4 o'clock in the morning, and it will be my last 4 o'clock in the morning finish now, probably until I just don't do these late ones. Until the next bank holiday, bar Boxing Day, because always around the Christmas period I spend the week at my sister's, so quite looking forward to doing that. I shall be DJing at a place called the Two Brewers in Clapham. They've just had a bit of a refit in there, which is all rather nice. A very, very good sound system in there and lights and everything. At last they've sorted all these things out, and quite in the nick of time, because one of the groups of pubs I work for, Mitchells and Butlers, have recently sold a load of pubs. So it looks like at some point we're going to have new owners, and you're never quite sure what these people will do. I think over the years, from my experience, the first thing, and because it's happened a couple of times, not very often, it's happened a couple of times, the first thing new owners do, not new manager, okay, new owners, usually the first thing new owners do is send accountants in to try and cut costs. I have found that over the years, so I don't know. Will we still be there this time next year? It remains to be seen, doesn't it, eh? Never mind. Now, a lot of emails have built up over the last couple of days, boys and girls, so I'm going to go straight into those today. First of all, from the lovely Jennifer, who writes, "Hi, Chris. Not much going on." Jennifer is one of our regular correspondents. She says, "I've caught up with all my work and caught up with all your shows because she was falling a little bit behind." Okay, I don't mind that so much, Jennifer. You can fall behind as long as you catch up, dear. But don't be there are people that are being strange, or there's one particular person that has been a stranger. It's all right. It's all coming up in a minute. Okay, don't rush me. Don't rush me. Jennifer says, "I went outside the other morning after feeding the cats." Oh, do you know my Katie's been on my lap this morning in the living room? Yes. I've started bringing her in a little bit more often now, just into the living room, and she walks in, she follows me in, meow, meow, she circles around the settee, and then she jumps up onto my lap, and she sits there for about half hour, 3/4 of an hour, and she watches the telly with me, purring away, and one of her little paws comes out like that on my shoulder. Oh, she's so cute, so cute. She's getting an old girl now. She's about 12. After feeding the cats and letting the chickens out to run a little bit, and saw that Peanut, which is the alpha chicken, was patiently waiting for the cats to finish their breakfast. Those of you that are new to the show will not know that Jennifer keeps cats and chickens, and they live quite happily together. The cats do not attract the chickens. In fact, the cat sort of kind of wanders about a little bit and wonders what the chicken is all about. This is true. This is absolutely true, okay? Yep. Peanut, the alpha chicken, was patiently waiting for the cat to finish their breakfast. I ran it to get the camera and was lucky enough to get this picture. And she sends a picture of two cats. It's quite difficult to see, actually. I've got a picture in front of me. There's a cat on the table, and underneath there's another cat. This chicken is literally standing behind the cat, waiting for it to finish its dinner, and then it will have some itself. Actually, there's three cats in this picture. You can there's cat there. There's a cat at the bottom. The cat just sort of there's a cat just sort of behind it, and behind the two cats is the chicken waiting for the food. You ever seen anything like it? I tell you. No sooner did I click the button, Peanut started pecking Oreo and Tata. They are the two cats that are in front of it, on the butt to get them out of the way. Brave chicken. And they left. The two cats left. Peanut finished up their breakfast that they oh so graciously left for her. So there we are. And she's listing books for sale. She's selling books, I think, on eBay or something like that at the moment. Thank you, Jennifer. Oh, well, let me just move. I've got my camera in the way there. Oh, yes, I've got... Oh, there's some new pictures on my Facebook. Anyone that wants to have a look at what was going on at Belushi's last night. Belushi's in Hammersmith. It's where I do a karaoke night every Monday, and I've uploaded a load of pictures that we did there last night. You can find those on my Facebook. My Facebook username is Chris Reardon UK. Alright, that's my Facebook username, Chris Reardon UK. And you want the albums Various Pictures 2010, and it's the last few pictures on there, 1, and Various Pictures 2010 2. And they are all Belushi's pictures in that second one. Alright? Hello to Anthony in London, who sent this in a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about Apple computers. And my mate Ron, and I found that people with Apple computers seem to think that they are superior to the rest of us. You know, we're all sitting here with our PCs. I've got actually 3 PCs in this room running the radio station, but no Apples. I don't have an Apple. I'm a bit, you know, I'm a bit like, once you get to learn something, I don't like to change it. It's like you know, a little bit when something's working. Or you get all these people, you know, geeks, boys and girls, geeks that have computers, and they fiddle with them, don't they? They fiddle with them, and then suddenly they don't work because they try to improve it, and actually they've knocked something else out. Now, I don't usually, admittedly, try and improve something unless Microsoft send me one of those emails and say, important update, do that, and you know, I'll do that. And Anthony says, we don't like to boast, but we do have a Mac, and I can't tell any difference from my PC. My Apple friends hate me saying this, but honestly, I use it when going to show off in Starbucks. You see them though, don't you? They come out with their apples and they open it, the little light lights up on the front there, the Apple emblem, and everyone's, you know, like oh, look at me, I am an Apple. What's it all about, eh? Wish I could switch the lights off on the front, though. Apple fans would like it to flash brightly. They would. It's true. It doesn't really flash brightly, does it, though, Anthony? It sort of glows. It kind of glows. Be quite good, you know, if you could turn off all the lights in Starbucks. You know, perhaps you've got a special remote control that you can hit the button so that then your Apple computer will stand out in front of everyone. Would you like that, perhaps? Eh? He says, I would actually like an iPhone now. The camera is on... I would actually like an iPhone now. The camera on them is okay. Yeah, because the camera on them, I don't think it was very good with the first lot, but it's quite good now. And I like the display and that you can zoom in for your old, tired eyes. Yeah, like mine. my eyes, I'm starting to look at computers and things like that and thinking, do you think I should increase the font size or have large icons on there? But I'm actually kind of put off getting it because I don't want to be seen as an Apple I'm rich show-off. It's kind of backfiring on Apple. That is the exact reason I don't get these things. It is actually because I don't want to be a show-off. I'm the same with everything, Anthony. I don't have a flash car. People say, "Oh, right. Oh, is that your car?" I've got a little Toyota. I've got a little Toyota Igo, and it's either 3 or 4 years old. I think it's 4 years old now. And especially my mate Ron, the one with the Apple, the one who's getting the BMW. Oh, why don't you get yourself another car? There's nothing wrong with that one. It's a car, dear. It's a car. It gets from A to B. Why do we need flash things all the time? However, I do like the Apple iPhone. I've seen how it works. I like the way it looks. It seems very, very simple to operate to me. And I indeed have picked up a few Apple items in shops before that I touch me or whatever it is. What is it? iPad. I picked up a few of those and had a little look. I touch me. That's quite good. Perhaps I could use it as another one of the new names. I touch me. Eh? And when you pick them up, and you work, and you just seem to know instinctively how to work these things. So I would like an Apple iPhone. However, at the moment I'm still in contract on my mobile phone, and I can't get a free upgrade till December. If I wanted to go out and buy one, it would cost me about £400-500, and I'm not spending that on the blooming phone. I am not spending that on the telephone. You're having a laugh, aren't you? So I shall wait for my free upgrade in December. I mean, it's only, it's only 4 months away, isn't it? Eh? 4 months ago. And when we get in December, then it's the long haul to Christmas. I always feel that. Once you're into September, it's the long haul to Christmas. It never used to be. Until all these shops started doing their Christmas stuff early. Good morning to Kat, who's on the Isle of Wight, who joins us this morning. Good morning, Kat. I hope, Charlie, your baby is all right. There we are, the old Apple there. Oh, incidentally, other things about Apple. Now, Ron has been having trouble with his Apple Mac. Now, his other half has got one, and he has no trouble at all. But he bought one of these wireless printers. I don't know why everyone is obsessed by wanting wireless this and wireless that. Now, the way my internet works in my house, yes, I do have wireless with the security settings on. Very important that you have that. Because very, very occasionally, I might have something to do on my laptop that I would use for work. So I'll do it on the wireless wherever I am. But everything else, like everything connected to this radio show, is all plugged into the back. I feel a lot happier when there's an actual physical wire connection into the back. But you can buy all these other things now that are completely wireless, like printers, webcams, things like that. And he's got a wireless printer, right? And his other half's computer prints finely onto it. No problem at all. It just works, right? He has never been able to get his printer to work with it. And he's had it. He must have had this wireless printer nearly a year now. Okay, so he took it into Apple, right, who apparently are quite, if you just take your machine in there, they're always very helpful. And they told him that it's because he had the old operating system, whatever it was connected to Apple. I don't know what it is, and he needs to upgrade it. This is what you need to do. So he took it home and tried to do it, right? In the meantime, he completely wiped his hard drive of everything else. Photos, music, iTunes, the lot. The absolute lot went. And he rung me up and he says, they didn't tell me that. Well, now, listen here, just a minute now. On this occasion, I will stand up for my best friend, okay? I can hear now computer geeks all over the world who are listening or watching this show saying, oh, didn't he know to back it up? Well, he's not a computer person. He wouldn't know. So don't be blooming clever, okay? Don't be clever just because you know everything about anything that is to do with computer. Don't sit there smiling, oh, didn't he know that? No, he didn't know that. And to be honest, it's the sort of mistake I would make. Although I do know if you're going to do something like that, you've got to get all your music and all my music and photos are backed up onto several different things. And I have. Let me just go and get it just a minute. Oh, my chair's stuck. Stay there a second. Right, let me just get this. Okay. I have an external hard drive plugged into the computers here. That backs up all my music and photos, and I also have this one here. It's like a completely disconnected standalone one, and now and again, maybe once a month, I plug that in and everything gets backed up onto that as well. So that's what I do. But most people, most of your usual run-in-the-mill person in the streets, okay, who is not into computers, really, doesn't want to know how they work, they are computer users, they don't know this. You know, you've got to tell him, and they never told him, so he was really peeved off with that one, right? So he goes waltzing into Apple and says, look, you know, you've told me to do, and not only that, so he'd done all that, not only that, and guess what? The wireless printer still won't print from his computer. So he's gone waltzing into Apple. Now, I don't know how he was, because my mate Ron gets very irate, and he starts shouting at people. Actually, to be honest, it's actually quite amusing sometimes to hear him screaming his head off at one of the people in Pizza Hut or someone like that because they've got the order, and he really does. He goes to town. He is one of the very few people I know that has actually managed to get a wheel clamp removed from his car without paying. God knows how he done it. He's like that, right? Anyway, so he's gone in there and told them what the problem was, and of course they said to him, you know, well, didn't you back it up? And he said, well, you didn't tell me to. You know, you don't know. People don't know these things. Computer people talk to people assuming that they know everything, and they don't. They don't know everything. You've got to talk to people, dare I say, as idiots. You know, if you were explaining a computer thing to me, I would want you to talk to me as an idiot, that I don't know anything about it. That's what I would want, okay? Then I'm unlikely to make a mistake, okay? So that's that. So they said, okay, well, we'll leave it with you. I'll write the hard disk and put it all on for you. Okay, obviously not the music and the photos. So he's given that to them, all that, and then, you know, picked it up a little bit later, taken it home, switched it on, and guess what? It still doesn't print on the wireless printer. So he's really peeved off at the moment. Not only has he, you know, and things aren't working on there now, because obviously over time, you know, you have a computer, you do all these updates, and when you take it back to basic again, you've got to do them all over again, and it loses everything, doesn't it? The iTunes, apparently that won't work anymore either. He can't download his library and all sorts of stuff like that. So it's really in a bit of a state at the moment, and it seems to be getting worse rather than better. And that's it, really, you know. So Wendy's, and also he's been on holiday before and taken it with him. Now, where was it? Sri Lanka. And he gets there. I said, well, keep in contact on the emails. When he come back, I said, why didn't you keep in contact? He says, don't even ask. I said, go on. He said the Apple computers weren't compatible with the network in the hotel. So, you know, you may have an Apple at home. You may be listening or watching this show on an Apple. You know, but they're not 100%. Same as everything else. They're not 100%. Incidentally, I'm not 100% either. I'm about 50% today. Okay? Now, there's an email address if you want to join in at any time. Feel free to do so, whether you're watching us live, listening to us live, or indeed watching a recording on the show. Feel free to join in by email at any time. My email address is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Now, we have a brand new person here on United Kingdom Radio. What's United Kingdom Radio? If you're watching United Kingdom Talk, what's United Kingdom Radio? That's where you can watch my shows live, along with a selection of other growing presenters now, boys and girls. If you want to watch the show live, join us on Tuesday and Thursday mornings at 11 o'clock UK time. Watch or listen, okay? Tuesdays and Thursday mornings at 11 o'clock UK time, and Saturday afternoons at 3 o'clock UK time, right? Saturday afternoons, 3 o'clock UK time. And one of our newest presenters is Mr. Mike Cullen, who's on Thursday nights at... Oh, dear. I'll tell you what. Listen to his trial and he'll tell you when he's on, alright?
Thursdays from 8 p.m. on United Kingdom Radio is the mouth of the tyne. That's with me, your host, Mike Cullen. This is what we've been talking about so far.
I was quite impressed with the fact that you mentioned about this disabled kid going abroad to have sex with a prostitute. What was your thoughts on that?
Good on him, eh? Good on him.
Would you not feel the slightest bit of guilt, though?
What if I was disabled?
This is probably not politically correct to say this, but you know, they are standing there, sitting there, whatever, receiving taxpayers' money to go abroad to Amsterdam to engage in a sexual act with a prostitute. I mean, it's bad enough going to Amsterdam to know that you're going to have sex with a prostitute.
I know, it's unreal, isn't it?
Why has he been evicted?
Because he's only got 6 months left on his tenancy agreement.
If he's still got 6 months, he cannot be evicted.
Yeah, so he's got 6 months to go.
Not evicted, he will have to be rehoused in 6 months' time.
But they're not going to rehouse him, though, that's the thing.
They can't evict him. Unless he has his British tenancy agreement, they cannot evict him.
But that's what they're going to do, man. They're going to turf him out.
Oh, so they can't now because it's in the paper, so he's going to have loads of solicitors and things on his behalf.
Where in the United States are you at the moment?
Wait a minute. I gotta peek out the window first. I don't see anything there. Okay. Alright, the street's all clear. I always have to watch for, like, black vans with radio antennas before I answer questions like that. I'm up in the mountains, and we've already had our first snowfall. We're so high up here, the only time we're sober is on Christmas and Easter. Those are the 2 days we're required to be sober.
That sounds a bit like where I come from in the UK.
All that and more on the mouth of the tyne Thursdays on United Kingdom Radio from 8 p.m.
All right, Mike Cullen, Thursdays at 8 o'clock here on United Kingdom Radio. Sorry, playing you the wrong bit of music there. Never mind. Onward then, another email here from Robert in Iceland, who's a regular correspondent to the show. Don't forget, once again, the email address, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Or quick message here coming in from Kat on the Isle of Wight, who tells us her baby is fine. Little Charlie, baby is fine. The Skype in, if you want to Skype in this morning, is United Kingdom Radio. And our phone-in number is 020 3287 1488. 020 3287 1488 is the phone-in number, and United Kingdom Radio, all one word, is the Skype in. All right. Once again, Robert in Iceland, who says, Chris and dear friends of United Kingdom Talk. When I was but a young whippersnapper, well, I should think that was a long time ago, wasn't it, Robert? Looking at your pictures on the Facebook there. With summers that seemed to be without end. Days when, after rainfall, the air would shimmer with the rising air currents. Days which seemed to last forever. Do you remember they did, didn't they? Those summer holidays from school, and the days just seem to go on and on. And here we are. You know, the school holidays are over in about a week and a half now. 2 weeks maximum, aren't they? How has that gone so quick? Mind you, I mean, it's not such a bad thing, to be honest, with the school holidays over. At least I can get back in the swimming pool properly again. We have 3 pools in our local swimming pool. There's like a toddler's pool, which is, you know, I mean, it's not... I mean, you could still drown in it, but it's, you know, it's only, on me, it would be like waist high or something like that. There's like a training pool, which is, it's warmish, you know. It's never cold when you put your toe in. You can walk straight in there and not sort of try and get used to the water first. And there's a main swimming pool, but it's a bit chilly when you get in there, you know. And what happens in the school holidays, all the youngsters, all the children get into the training pool, and you can't get in there. You cannot get in there for love of money. I mean, I went certainly on Friday last week. You could barely see the water. You know, they're just like throwing balls around and that sort of thing. You can't swim in there. So, of course, I have to go in the main pool, and it's a bit chilly, boys and girls. My nipples were standing erect. They really were when I got in that pool. It's just too cold. Not only that, if you go in there at the wrong time, you get the so-called professional swimmers. You know, the professional swimmers, the ones that if you get in their way, you know, that they don't look where they're going, they bang into you. Mind you, a few months ago, I was in there and there were two of these so-called professional swimmers, right? And they both weren't looking where they were going. And there was I was watching them going towards each other. There was an almighty crack as they hit each other's heads. And do you know what? I thought to myself, serves you blooming well right. Because they don't look. They just want to swim up and down as fast as possible. Awful people. Let's have a couple of messages coming in here. Good morning, says Tom. Why do I get 3 copies of every post? I have no idea. Let's have a look. Who is he? Why does he got 3 copies of every post? Okay, let's not sure what I'm doing there. 1 second. With you in a tick. Oh, right. Yes, I'll see what it's saying. Let me just sort something out, boys and girls, because I put them out at different times. What else have I got to do? Because I put them out at different times, I'll sort this now by unfriending you. Sorry to cause inconvenience. There we are. Let's sort him out. Tom doesn't like the posts, so. Or how do I got to I have to defriend someone. There we are. One moment, boys and girls. Remove from friends. There we are. Removed. Sorted there. Everything's got an answer, you see. I am getting a bit more used to this, I think. I think the Facebook is not too difficult to learn, is it? There we are. Right then. Back to this email. Robert says, a more simpler time, you know, in those young days in the summer, when to sit amongst the pea plants and feast like a king upon the fresh fruits and veg to be found in my father's garden. Well, talking of fruit and veg, my tomatoes are coming on very well. The beef tomatoes are getting even bigger. The entire plant is having trouble holding these tomatoes up, I'm telling you. As we prospered, the promise of a greenhouse became the object of my father's passion. And before long, it too soon began to bulge at the seams with all kinds of tropical fruits and vegetables. Now, I've not got a greenhouse. My garden isn't massive. It's all right. You know, it's a nice size, my garden, but it's not a massive garden. You can't walk up and down, you know, for miles. If I could change anything about my house, it would be to have a larger garden. That's the only thing. I love this house. Love the house I'm in. I would, however, like a much larger garden. My father came from a generation that learnt that food was something that could not be relied upon, and hence he did all in his power to provide for his family. Well, of course, it's so much easier now, isn't it? Going down to Sainsbury's and using that self-service checkout. Oh, I love it. Bleep! There is an undisclosed item in the bagging area. Please remove this item and try again. I wish I'd have a voice on there with a bit more personality. I really do. Our house was a council house, as indeed this was an ex-council house, and as such, houses had large gardens in which the less well-off poor could grow their own food. Is that why they had bigger gardens? I mean, I feel sorry for the people who buy these new builds, you know, new houses. The gardens are just tiny, aren't they? Absolutely tiny. I mean, it's pointless having one, to be honest. You might as well build the houses right up close together. It's a complete waste of time having such, you know, tiny gardens. I think so, anyway. And so it was that we learnt how to care for ourselves and deal with times of plenty. Though I never learnt at first hand the meaning of hunger, quite the opposite in fact. My father did teach me how to store food, and skills learnt from him I pass on to you and my dear friends. Now here we go. If you are a gardener, Robert is providing advice to keep your little bits and pieces fresh for you to eat for the weeks and possibly months to come. How kind is he? Carrots and potatoes. These keep like new if stored in bags of peat. Now, I didn't know that. And in fact, next year, I am sort of considering doing potatoes next year. Because you can, I mean, I won't dig up the garden. What I do, I think you can get like a potato, like a big, you know, like, what are those things? You know, like those compost bins. Can't you buy something like that for potatoes? I'm sure you can. And you just put your things in there, and they just grow. So I might actually try potatoes next year, and carrots actually, because what I'm going to do is dig up a little bit of the garden, not much, a little bit of the garden, and do some more vegetables. This year, I've just dug a very, very small bit, and I've got 5 corn on the cob plants, sweet corn plants growing there, and they've all got an ear of corn growing at the moment. How exciting is that? And it's, you know, it's coming along slowly but surely. But next year I'm going to make that as soon as I've, you know, harvested the corn, I shall make the hole a bit bigger in preparation for next year. I might have a go at carrots next year, because I do eat carrots. Tomatoes. Now, I have a lot of tomatoes in the garden. They're my main crop. They're huge. Some of them are huge. And lots of different varieties, which I will bring in. And those of you that watch the show will be able to see what they look like as they come through. I've got yellow ones, and I've got black ones as well. Yeah, tomatoes, and they're a different shape. And the yellow ones, some of them are now starting to turn yellow. So hopefully, within a couple of weeks, I'll bring some into the studio and show you. And to turn tomatoes red, because they're all green at the moment, or whatever colour they're supposed to be, he says, if you have a spare drawer, then put down some newspaper and place the green tomato in with the red one. The ripened one gives off a gas that causes the others to ripen. So did you know that? I knew you're supposed to put them. I know there's so many different things. People say put them in drawers or something like that, or you know, put them in a brown bag. So many different methods of doing this. So that's another one there. Apparently, it's the gas that one gives up. I think, don't bananas give off a gas as well? Could you put a green tomato in with a banana? Would that work? Does it work like that? I don't know. Onions. If you're growing onions, manna from heaven, get some pickling vinegar, and after a while you will eat like a king or queen. What do you mean by that, dear? Eat like a... What's he mean by that? Onions. Yeah, onions. I'm an onion eater as well, but they do give me terrible wind. Do you get that when you're having onions? Apparently the gut loves onions, and it's all breeding all sorts of bacteria and stuff like that in there, but they're good stuff, you know. Dreadful, isn't it? Dreadful getting that wind like that. And Robert says, and to end on another aspect of gardening, watering, I use a large plastic bottle. I cut the bottom off and place the top of the bottle into the ground about 25% of the way down. Fill this with water and go on with your day. Watering from the top with, say, a watering can helps surface roots develop, and these suffer when watering because when watering becomes erratic. Go for deep roots that help keep the plant healthy. So that's a good thing there. I actually go out and water the tomato plants every day. Very, very important that they don't get very dry, okay? Really important, that those of you with tomato plants. So thanks for that, Robert. I've actually got 3 emails here from Robert. Vicky. Good morning, Vicky, who's with us live this morning. Says, morning, Chris. Do you have any sunflowers this year? Yeah, well, I started off with about 10. But I'll tell you what. Let's give Vicky a quick call. Let's bring Vicky up on the line, because we haven't spoken to anyone this morning. Might as well have a little phone call in here. I think she's got a... Good morning, Vicky. Morning, Vicky.
Good morning. How are you doing?
All right. Not bad at all. Hang on a minute. I've done something wrong here. There we are. I'm very well, thank you very much. You're looking rather glamorous. Vicky is joining us by video phone. I know you can't see it, but I can. She's got a beautiful, is that pink or red you've got on this morning?
So, yeah, somewhere in between the two.
Well, it looks very nice, Vicky. Looks very nice. You're asking about the sunflowers. Well,
yes.
Yeah, I started off with 10. Okay? And I put a couple in pots. But I put them out a little bit too early when they were still weak. Now, they didn't get done by the frosts. But literally, they were too, I put them in too early. And I lost 8 of them.
Oh.
I gave one away in a pot to one of my managers, the lady who runs Belushi's in Hammersmith. And I'm left with one which has flowered and is now, what is it they call? Is it seeding now? It's seed,
yeah,
the head is now starting to turn to seed. So unfortunately, I lost most of them. But there you go, it's one of those things. We live and learn. Put them in too early.
Now, do you eat the seeds?
No, I don't. No, I just look at the flower and the beauty of the flower rather than eating it. I know a lot of people do eat sunflower seeds, though, don't they?
Yeah, they bake them with salt, I think.
Do you do that?
We used to when I was a kid. We'd do that, but I haven't grown sunflowers in a long time. I think on the TV you see the baseball players do that a lot. Yeah, they bake them with salt.
Oh, I can hear you.
Me too.
Is that you on the Oh, I'll ring you back. Might be the video actually. I'll ring you back, and can you turn the video off?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. I'll ring you straight back then. Okay. Let's see if that works. There we are. I could hear myself coming forward then. Could you? Good. We can hear an echo. Echo. Right. Let's give it another go. Let's have a chat with Vicky again. It's all right today, isn't it? Eh? There we are.
Here I am.
Hello.
Good morning.
Is that better?
That's fine, yes.
No, you sound like a Dalek now. Can you turn your video off?
I think I did. Oh, yes. This.
I'll tell you what. I'll call you back one more time. Let's see if we can do this. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Oh, poor old Vicky having trouble with the old phone this morning. Never mind. Shall we wait 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's try this now. I don't know if Vicky's doing any gardening herself this year. Hello, how's that?
There you go. I've answered with that video. Does that help?
I can hear you now, my darling. All right?
That sounds good.
Good. Are you doing any gardening this year? Do you have much of a garden there in your condo?
No, well, I have garden areas around where I live, but I didn't do any gardening this year. And in fact, we had such a hot summer with a blazing sun that many of the plants got killed off unless you watered all the time.
Yeah.
So right now in front of my house, we just had a very wet weekend, and but everything is still brown and yellow. We just lost most of the lawn.
We've actually got some floods here at the moment, here in the UK. I don't know if you saw them on the news. Not too bad, to be honest. We're not having people, chucked out of their houses. But look at the terrible floods they've had, both in Pakistan and also China. I'm sure you've seen that on the news.
Yeah, it's been it's a tragedy, really.
Can you just imagine those people's lives where they just lose everything in an instant? All those years of building up whatever they've got, and it's just all gone in the space of an hour.
It's beyond comprehension for me. I am so fortunate in my life, and the infrastructure in the U.S., of course, is very good. And you do have problems. Of course, Katrina, and that was a disaster, really. But for the most part, it takes just such an extraordinary event to knock us out here like that. And knock wood, things just don't get to that scale weather-wise here for the most part.
Did you know anyone who lives in New Orleans at all?
Actually, I had a cousin who was living there. She wasn't there at the time.
Yeah.
She returned for a while. They called her. They said, come on, things are coming back. And she was working in a restaurant, but then she left again.
Oh, right. I mean, are they how's the rebuilding coming along? It's an ongoing thing, really, isn't it?
I was just watching a show about that on television, and it is a struggle still down there. The economy, the economy is so rough here overall. It's hard for everybody to come to get back to where they were, say, 5 or 6 years ago. Much less if you've been through that kind of devastation.
Are there people that can still not go back to having, say, a permanent home? Are they still kind of living in temporary accommodation? How long is it? It's 4 years now, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know enough about it to speak. I know there were a few stories about the trailers. FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Group, had bought these thousands of trailers that were going to be used. Then there were problems with the trailers, and they sold off the trailers. It's a bit of an open wound, I think. The more you pick at it, the more you read about it, the more you hear about things aren't going well. And unfortunately, I think for those people where it's not going well, it's a story that's faded away. All of these stories, I shouldn't say stories, all of these accounts of tragedies, they're in the news for a little while, and then people get bored. Their attention span fades away, and we go on to the next event, the next show, the next tragedy. And all these lives are left in the wake, people left to take care of themselves.
You don't hear anything else about these things until someone, a few years down the line brings out a documentary, and then, sort of life after the Twin Towers. You hear nothing more about it. I mean, I don't know, what has anything been built there or what, for example, on that one?
Well, they are building. It's taken an awfully long. It took years to settle on what the building was going to look like.
Yeah.
And they are building, but it's to build that kind of a structure. And the tip of Manhattan, the logistics are incredible. So they are building, but it's just taking a long while.
I did also hear on the news last week, at the weekend, I think, that the Empire State Building is a little bit unhappy at the moment because apparently they're going to build another tower very close to it, and it's only slightly shorter than the Empire State Building. Is that right? Or do you
Yes.
Not?
I think the Empire State Building is about 102 floors, and then it comes up to the point with the antenna at the top.
Yeah.
And this other building is maybe going to be 63 or 68 floors, but the floors are just so much wider between floor and ceiling that it's going to greatly impact the skyline.
Right. I do find that quite funny, whereas there are so many of these skyscrapers. I've been to New York a couple of times, and they're just everywhere. And how, certainly I think when you're walking around New York, you can't really see... The Empire State Building does not stand sort of out more than anything else, except for the fact that it's black, isn't it?
It's actually silvery. Silvery color, yes.
Is it, why do I think it's black? Oh, hang on a minute. The inside is black, isn't it?
Oh, I haven't been. Black marble maybe in the lobby.
I'm sure that, maybe that's what I'm seeing. Black marble. And I've been up there before, which is marvellous. But they're really not happy. I think they're frightened of losing their view, Vicky.
Yes, well, they make a big deal out of they're going to light the top up in whatever colors, for whatever holidays. It's a lot of it is marketing, and I think in order to build this new building too, from a legal point of view, the developer was getting certain variances and setbacks, and I think from a legal point of view, if they don't challenge this, then what happens when the next developer comes along? And I think they're loath to set a precedent where they don't fight to preserve their place in the skyline.
Is it kind of done and dusted that this building will go up, or are they still saying, well, we don't know?
No, I think there is city council and various land use hearings were taking place yesterday, today, and a decision is expected possibly at a meeting on Wednesday.
No one lives in the Empire State Building, do they? It's just offices, isn't it?
Not that I'm aware of, yes. I think it's offices and, of course, the observation deck, which is what gets most people to visit.
Yeah, right. Okay. Now, we've got a question coming in here from Wayne, especially for you, Vicky, who says, any advice on indoor plants? Because mine keep dying, and yes, I do water them. I think you might be overwatering them.
Wow.
What do you reckon?
I gave up on indoor plants when I got the my pets because every plant I have, I'd look on the internet and it'd say could be poisonous, and I'd be like, right, you're out of here.
Well,
So I think not to overwater. I did bring some of my plants into work, and they're doing very well. Just don't overwater them exactly.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with plants. In fact, you know, I've had a couple of plants. And in the house, there's one hanging in... Oh, my God, actually, stay there a minute. I've just noticed that's going to fall off. How on earth did that happen? My God, this looks like it's about to fall off, Vicky. I've got to... Let me just bring it over. I've got a... There we are. I've got a plant here, which I really don't look after. It's rarely watered. In fact, at the moment, it is as dry as... And the earth is hard, and yet it refuses to die. I wonder if Wayne is choosing plants that maybe are... What plants have you got indoors, Wayne? Do let us know, okay? We could sort of do I think we could do a gardening show, Vicky, you and I.
There you go. Chris Reardon's green thumb.
Yes. Green what? Oh, thumb. I beg your pardon.
Green.
Yeah. Tell us what plants you've got, Wayne, and maybe we can help you with that. But I've really never had a problem with plants indoors. They just seem to thrive, and the one behind me is very badly looked after, really, because it's kind of out of the way, and you forget that it's there. And yet it survives, you know. Cactuses. I'm not good at cactuses or cacti.
No, I tried a cactus once, and I couldn't have killed it off faster. I tend to agree that when you ignore the plants, sometimes they do better. Well, my plants don't thrive under attention.
Yeah, you know, it says they need very, very little water, only a few drops. And you kind of do that, and you're thinking, oh, I don't know about... I've never been able to get cactuses to grow. Wayne says, I've got none at the moment, they're all dead. But going to try again. I think it's lack of sunlight. Oh, you do need them near to a wall. Sorry, not a wall, a window. You really want to put them near a window. Do you have all your plants near windows indoors, or you, or are some of them sort of completely in the shade and never get any sunlight, Vicky?
The plants at work actually seem to be, a lot of them thrive under the fluorescent lights. Okay. I don't know that they always need light. We did some rearranging at the office, and I said to one of my colleagues, we better take these plants out to the window for visits once a week, and she said, no, they'll do fine in the fluorescence.
I've got a big one, just like the plant that's behind me, that grows up a pole. And certainly from sort of June it goes outside, and it has the fresh air and that, and you know, and then it'll come back in as soon as it starts getting cold again. Because I think they like a little walk outside, don't they? What a shame you can't take a plant for a walk.
Well, but now that's tricky too, because when you bring the plants outside, they can pick up various bugs, and then you bring them in, and you can contaminate and infect the rest of the house plants. So you do have to be cautious and inspect the leaves. Yeah,
and those little things that I get some of those little things that seem to survive in the earth as well, which I can't remember what they're called. Are they vine weevils? Vine weevils? Horrible little brown things with legs.
It sounds awful.
Oh, yeah, they are. Anyway, nice to talk to you, Vicky.
Lovely talking to you. Have a wonderful day, Chris.
Don't be a stranger. Cheerio, Vicky.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. There we are, the lovely Vicky, who's in New York. Back to the emails then. Got to say hello to Dallas. Hello, Dallas, who says, Dear Chris, this is Dallas, by the way. By the way, what do you think of my name? We love the name Dallas. I like your name. Elizabeth did make me remember it was Dallas's birthday. She was 13 a couple of days ago. Elizabeth, that's her best friend, did make me 3 cards, but she also made me buy my own gift. She says she's going to pay me back, but that won't happen. Is that right, Elizabeth? Oh, that's terrible, telling someone, oh, go and buy yourself a present, I'll give you the money for it. Mind you, it saves all that hassle, doesn't it, of not quite knowing what to buy someone. But you must set a limit. Oh, my God, if I told my best friend Ron to go and get yourself a birthday present and let me know how much it is, he would just go to town. He'd book himself a business class flight to Australia or something like that. And he'd come back. Well, you said so. Oh, no. Make sure you set a limit. And she says, oh, well, it was only a cup of Fruit Loops. Thank you for singing to me twice. Yes, I can walk to Elizabeth's house. She lives only a block away. I had to run here today because of a crisis. I'm at her house at the moment. She says, oh, a long time ago you said that you were endangered and you were the last Reardon. Yes, I am, I'm afraid. Mum said that you had a son. Is he not a Reardon? He is a Reardon, yes, but in what would you say? In body, yes, he is a Reardon, but he changed his names back to his mother's maiden name. So in name, no, he's not a Reardon, but of course in person, yes, he is a little bit of me. She says, is my mum starting to go crazy? I think your mum's been crazy a long time, Dallas. I really do. She can be crazy sometimes. Also, you were talking about the mosquito, like noise that adults can't hear, but children can. And you said you'd put them all over your tail, and you'd said it would be wonderful. Well, yes, it would, because then there wouldn't be too much noise coming from the children. Wonderful time. If you want to get rid of the children, get some mosquitoes in. Preferably the ones that... because they don't all have malaria, do they? All mosquitoes don't have malaria. Dallas says, I completely disagree. They are dreadful. They will kill my ears. So awful. Well, of course they will, because you're young. Well, I can't think of much else at the moment. Bye for now. Thank you, Dallas. Okay, well, I tell you what, Dallas, if you ever come to UK, let me know first, and I shall make sure I get rid of all the mosquitoes. All right? And Elizabeth writes, hiya, Chris. I responded to tell you that I love your show. I think you're hilarious. Sure, I can trust you as a friend and tell all your imaginary friends I say hello. All my friends are I don't really have any real friends. Even I think Ronnie doesn't. Well, my mate Ronnie doesn't actually exist. No, he is imaginary as well. I still can't find my imaginary friend though. I think he moved. Oh, and Dallas's birthday was really on August the 15th, not the 14th. I might have got that wrong. But she still appreciated you singing 2 happy birthday songs for her. I love you because you know about sticks. Babe, I love you. I know that song. Oh, and I did make all 3 birthday cards for Dallas. School starts tomorrow, so she'll be at school now. Don't worry, we will be nice to our teachers. Be nice to your teachers, okay? Do be nice to your teachers. And that's from Dallas's friend, Elizabeth. How lovely to have so many children writing in. The email address to this show is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. All right, feel free to join in at any time. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Right, let's say hello. Someone with us live this morning is Craig, who sends an email rushing in now. Craig Adams here from Hinckley, Leicestershire. Oh, that sounds nice. Is it? Little town, is it? Little town, Leicestershire. East Midlands, in the middle of the UK. That's that Hinckley. That's nice. And there's certain places have nice names, don't they? Where I was brought up, the name of that place is Roehampton. Does that sound nice? Roehampton. Hinckley sounds nice. In East Midlands, it's in the middle of the UK. Your shows are still very good. I like them. I tune in whenever I can. Some updates. He says, a few weeks ago, I went to the Royal Albert Hall in London for the Doctor Who music prom. I didn't even know there was such a thing. Oh, I'd like to have gone to that. I took my mum and dad and uncle along. My dad drove us down to London and we got a car park space in the Imperial College, costing us £8. It's very, very dear to park in London. Let me warn you. Okay, anyone who comes to London, it's extremely expensive to park in London. We got a good deal on the tickets. The Royal Albert Hall is impressive. Yes, it is. It was an eye-opener, believe me. If you ever come to the UK for a holiday, or indeed you're in the UK, you've never been to the Royal Albert Hall, try and go. Wonderful building. It's a beautiful building. The prom started off with the introduction of a track called A Madman in a Box, sung by vocalist Yamit Mamo, a beautiful track. Then it went into the 11th Doctor Who's Arrival with a track called An Untimely Arrival, which we saw in the 11th Hour, which was one of the Doctor Who programmes, where the Doctor is hanging off the TARDIS, heading towards Big Ben, and then the TARDIS crashes and he meets a young Amy Pond, and the Doctor ends up eating fish fingers and custard. Yeah, I remember that. Now, the Doctor's most recent assistant, Amy Pond, I have to say, I really just didn't take to her at all. There was something about her, I don't dislike her, just didn't take to her at all. Whether it might have been overacting or, I don't know, didn't like her. My favourite Doctor Who, my favourite recent Doctor Who assistant has got to be Donna Noble. Absolutely, got to be Donna Noble. He goes on to say, yet another track by Murray Gold and Ben Foster. Third track was all about the 11th Doctor, entitled I Am the Doctor. Then his most famous evil enemy, the Daleks. We are the Daleks. You will obey or be exterminated. Yeah, we love the Daleks. The Daleks appeared on stage for their suite called Battle in the Skies, the Wartime London, with the Churchill episode. And then he goes on to tell us more about the music. He says, then a week later, I managed to get an electronic music composer. I don't know what that is. An electronic music composer up to Castlemead Radio. His name is Mark... Oh, I beg your pardon. This is a person. I thought this was a gadget you were talking about. Okay, an electric music composer up to Castlemead Radio. His name is Mark Shreve, very popular during the 80s and 90s decade. We did a small hospital radio interview. Castlemead Radio is a hospital radio station. They do a very good job in hospitals. And played some of his favourite music from his album and other great artists. I've now got a swollen foot and it's a bit painful. I hope it's not gout. You're not drinking, are you? If you think you've got drought, you mustn't drink. It will get worse. Okay? You don't want to lose a leg, do you? Nasty. Okay? My Uncle Paul, my mum and I are busy doing a special project in our back garden for next year's Hinkley Carnival here in the East Midlands, and it's our 50th carnival. That's about it for me till next time. Chris and fellow listeners, take care. Could you read my email out on Thursday's live edition? Oh, Craig, I've read it now. I thought you were with us. Are you with us live this morning? I'm not quite sure. I don't know. Well, Tom, young Tom's with us as well in the West Midlands, who says good morning. You're a bit late, Tom, aren't you? We're almost out of time now. Almost out of time. Now, on the next show... we hear from a very good friend of United Kingdom Talk. She's been with us for quite some time and she disappeared. I was very concerned where she was. Susan, the cat lover. She's got a cat named Taylor. And Susan, our cat lover, has written in, and that will be coming up on Thursday's show. And Susan is in the place of the same name as one of our listeners who just wrote. She is in Dallas. And indeed has been to Southfork Ranch, and she went there a while ago and told us all about it and sent some wonderful photos and that in. All right, so we'll hear from her, as well as another email from Robert, and of course you on the Skype and telephones. All right, if you want to email the show once again, it's chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. If you want to watch the show live, next, it's on Tuesday mornings at 11 o'clock UK time. To watch the show live and indeed to look at or listen to, download any of the other podcasts from any of the other 9 presenters we have here on United Kingdom Radio, then go to unitedkingdomradio.co.uk. That's where you'll find all the live shows, unitedkingdomradio.co.uk. Lots of other presenters. Have a little listen to one of the other podcasts, all right? Time for me to go, boys and girls. I shall see you live on Thursday mornings at 11. Have a good day now. Bye-bye.